So it's now 2-1, I believe. Double check that. Or 1-2, I suppose. No, it's 2-2. Oh yeah, I just want. Oh, so I'm already out of. Okay, we're fine. We're totally fine. Uh, all I needed was 2 wins to avoid demotion here. So yeah, I'm already sitting at 16, which guarantees I'm already guaranteed to be in finals. If I lost all both the remaining games, I would enter finals and narrow second place. If I win one more game, I'm entering the championship match as first place. Okay. Uh, anyways, what do we have here? For draw, Marquis, Witch's Hut, Patrol, Steward, Apothecary, Overlord. I don't know why I counted Overlord. Overlord's just playing one of those. Villages, Just Port. Crashing, Steward, plus buy, Marquis, and lots of loots which come from Cutthroat. Marchland isn't really plus buy here because there's no way to gain it without buying it that I can see. Any Apothecary synergies? I mean, I guess to the extent that you count Banquet as an Apothecary synergy, but nothing that synergizes with seeing the top of your deck. So probably no Apothecary here. Yeah, I don't think it's Apothecary. I like Apothecary. I would like the answer to be Apothecary. It's a fun card. I don't think the upside is high enough. You can trash your coppers just fine. There's not a big benefit to keeping them. So probably Steward plus Overlord looks like the opening. Xyrix has a 2-5, which definitely looks like the worst split. Overlord clearly correct there. Uh, Trash 2 cards. And I think there's trash 2 more here. Do I buy a second Overlord? I think the answer is no. I think I want some ports soonish. And Overlord as port is a lot fatter than just buying ports. You're getting fewer ports for double the price. I was really hoping for something like Overlord and 4 coppers in this hand to just play Cutthroat and buy ports. Uh, what do I do with the hand I've got? Could play this as no. Never mind. I thought I could play this as Marquis and do Port Overlord, but that is cheating. Overlord cannot. Oh, oh no! Oh no! Donald X, what have you done? I just remembered. Overlord can't play durations anymore. What has he done to you? You didn't deserve that. Can't play command cards either. That one is fair enough. Um, but just as of recently, like in the last month or so, Overlord got an errata to add non-duration because they changed the duration rules. Uh, Overlord can't play Cutthroat anymore. That's why he's making this like what the fuck gesture with his hands. It didn't used to look like that, and then he got nerfed. Uh, oh, what a disaster! So I have to buy an actual Cutthroat. Disgusting. I guess that's what I'm doing then. Or do I buy the? Yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna buy a Cutthroat here. I also want to. Oh, that's not a great draw either. I want ports, but if push came to shove, I could play Overlord as port there. So here, play Cutthroat by guide, or draw with Steward by ports, and just conserve the Cutthroat for one more turn. The latter line sounds better to me. Guide is not going to be a bad card here because it counters the opponent's Cutthroat. I'm unhappy to draw the Overlord off the top, but that wasn't exactly unlikely. But next turn just seemed to have a clear game plan over where I had ports on my deck. All right, so now I shall draw some cards. I think Witch's Hut giving out 2 curses. Let's see, so I could play Witch's Hut and then likely well, not even that likely. Likely-ish. Discard, steward, port, give out curse, play, cutthroat, buy a second set of ports. That all sounds fine. But it doesn't work if I bottom deck any of the three action cards. So it's only like 40% likely to get the ideal draw. Or I could just draw with patrol and then play port, play steward, play cutthroat. Does the one extra money matter? Patrol makes me one extra money because I draw one more of the coppers. Let's say I draw three cards, and so I draw port, steward, cutthroat. I draw one more copper off the port. I have five. Yeah, I think the patrol makes a difference. As it as it turns out, my deck was stacked in exactly the way that made Witch's Hut better. So I drew both terminals. I didn't draw the port, so I can't play them. But the port was the next card on my deck. So had I played the Witch's Hut, I would have drawn all the actions, and I could have done the little discard to give out a curse thing. What a cruel twist of fate that was. So one more cutthroat or another pair of ports first. I think I just like another cutthroat. Alrighty. I'm gonna get hit by this cutthroat, and there's nothing I can do about it, but I should add a guide so as to avoid future woes. I definitely would have liked to take the gold there and get my two loots back before xyrix got his cutthroat into play. But my deck was just not ready to add three more jump cards uh, when I hadn't even trashed the coppers yet. Okay, bottom two cards are Fort and Overlord. Not terrible set of cards to leave on top. I could just play this for money and buy a pair of ports. Does drawing those get me to 6? If it does, I think I would do that. Gets me to 5 pretty easily if I just play the Overlord as a steward. I don't see a better Overlord target that gets me up to gold. So maybe I'm just taking another pair of ports then. I think I have a lead. We're even on ports. I'm up one on cutthroats. I've trashed two more cards. I have a guide. Okay, now we're even on stewards and trashing. Xerx's main advantage is he has an extra overlord, which is a pretty big deal, to be fair. So I think my lead is not huge. Bottom two cards are Fort Copper. So I'm surely playing this steward for money. And the overlord, I could just draw the copper off the top. Yeah, I think I just play this as a cantrip. 50-50 shot that I draw the copper immediately, and then I get to top deck a port, which is good. Yeah, I think this is the best outcome. I still don't love my my anti-cold senses are kicking in. I guess I technically have two draw cards in this deck if I count the steward. I'm looking at my deck and saying I don't have a whole lot of draw. I am functionally putting 5 stop cards into the deck. So I get a gold, I get 2 loots, and I get the 2 cutthroats back in. And all I have to draw that with is the overlord and the steward. Xerix does not have a second cutthroat yet, so that I'm not in an imminent rush to get my cutthroats back before he plays his. So maybe I have to click one more draw card one more time before activating the cutthroats. It really does not take that much to talk me out of buying gold. Someday we're gonna suck it up and do the dirty deed. Today is not that day. I've been cursed. That means war. I guess it means plague more accurately, but I will seek vengeance. Awkward spot I'm in, I think, is what I would love my deck to accomplish is trash two cards and hit six. And I don't think I've got quite enough gas in the tank to do both of those things in one turn. Could be wrong about that. I have four, yeah, I have four coppers. Xyrix took a marquee. I'm probably just buying gold here, right? My top four cards. I probably should have called a guide if I was thinking about it. But I have top decked Port Marquee Overlord, which sounds like a lovely starting hand for next turn. Oh, actually, shoot. As I say that, if I buy gold here, Xerix gets his Cutthroat back. Then my lovely starting hand gets hit by the Cutthroat attack. I could call the guide to fix that, but I would have triggered a shuffle. So all four of my best four cards, or I have two more ports, but like both of my best draw cards would be missing that shuffle. He has a marquee in his deck. It is not unreasonable to expect that, yeah, and two overlords. He would probably cut through me. And buying gold is just always a mistake, isn't it? At some point in the far distant future, I'm going to buy gold, probably. But if I buy gold here, I get hit with a cutthroat attack, pitch my good hand, draw a bad hand of five terrible cards, and then disaster ensues. Maybe if I trash two and buy an overlord, and the problem with that is then my deck is too thin, and I struggle to get out of debt and hit gold off of that. Maybe I just do two coins and a third cutthroat. Three cutthroats is an awful lot. The trouble is there's just like no clear direction to go from here. Maybe just what if I do plus two coins and buy an overlord? Then I'm in two debt. I'm gonna have to hit eight. That sounds doable. I would not mind having another overlord in the deck. Could also be just plus two coins and another marquee, or another like a patrol or a witch's hut. I think I'm just gonna take another overlord. I don't know. That was a difficult turn. I should have just called it a guide, probably. Well, no, because if I'd called the guide on the kind of mediocre looking hand, I could have guaranteed I'd have had a better turn. But then I wouldn't have a guide down. And if I did the thing I wanted to do, which was get my cutthroats back, then I would be getting cutthroated with no guide down. I think the answer is there's just no good answer. I expect Xerix to buy a second cutthroat, I think. No, just taking all the ports. That is a mild nuisance, but I can live with four ports, I think. Okay. I have four coppers in my deck, so I have to play both Steward and one Overlord as two money to get to six, which means one Overlord could be played as a Witch's Hut. Uh, I should definitely buy an Overlord here, right? I just added a bunch of stop cards, so I could use the draw. I think those are probably reasonably good loots, all things considered. Xerix doesn't need the staff at all, but I wouldn't mind the staff, given that I'm a little bit low on villages now. Staff would play a cutthroat for me. But yeah, don't mind Endless Chalice as the first loot. Don't think I need that much plus buy. So Figurehead's not bad either. Not sure what the best loot is to pull here. Goat would still be pretty good. Um, there's so many circumstances where I wouldn't mind using Steward for trashing, but coins or the draw end up being more important. And Goat would make it easy to deal with incoming curses and stuff. So Goat would be pretty good. Um, Spell Scroll will be all right with a bunch of good fives and sixes. Uh, Puzzle Box doesn't matter much, and Sword doesn't matter much when you're getting Cutthroat and Calling Guide anyway. Yeah, I think those are just some of the better loots. I think Figurehead, Staff, and Endless Chalice all seem on the good side. Okay. This is probably Patrol, and then I get to be a little bit sad if I don't find my last port. I'm a little bit sad. Uh, yeah, the Cutthroat's going to be a problem here. I didn't get my guide down. Right, I don't even have a second guide, actually. So I was never going to have gotten my guide down. I'm probably losing this game, is my estimation. As I pitch these, there's a chance I have a good draw here. I need to get more trashing done. I don't think I have the deck control to do it. Where's my Endless Chalice? Did I discard it at some point? Did I make up that I got an Endless? Yeah, I gained an Endless Chalice. Oh, I drew it and I discarded it to the Cutthroat. Okay, I see. That's where it went. I'm guessing that's going to become a gold instead of a Cutthroat, and then just trigger it immediately. The previous Cutthroat, that is. Insignia does not seem great at this point. If I were in Xyrix's shoes and had 8 villages in the deck, getting a top deck a draw card would sound a little bit better. But my deck has already got about as many terminals as it can handle. Hammer, also pretty good loot, I suppose, if you get free guides, but that's not like the most important thing ever. Usually, circumstances where you have to play your spell scroll as a gold are pretty sad because it's just like a loot that didn't come with plus buy. But in this case, it actually kind of has a nice little upside, which is that spell scroll into gold triggered the Cutthroat without making you buy your own gold. Take Patrol. Definitely want to play all those. Another Patrol. And I'm dead it again. No, no. This is getting close to resignable. I need another guide. I'd probably just buying a guide here. Unfortunately, it's like this looks like I was buying Overlord, but I can't play Overlord's guide. I don't know, I think I'm just buying a guide. I need a second one. It's not in this hand anyway. Like, I mean, I guess it matters in the sense that if he hadn't played the Cutthroat, I would have just not called the guide, but it is not a big deal. CG. Where'd my village? Oh, we'll play one more card. Can I draw a village? All right, we'll play one. Fine. Fine, if you insist, game. Uh, I normally I would play one card here before the marquee to maximize the amount marquee draws. From a 7 card hand, you're only netting 3 cards. From a 6 card hand, you're netting 4 cards of draw. But I also have a bunch of junk in my deck, so it might be smarter to play the marquee first, draw fewer total cards, but get more sifting out of it. That's probably not true. I do need to draw the junk and trash it. So I'll do this. Just get the maximum amount of draw. Bottom 2 cards are a port And I don't know what the other thing is, but it can't be that important. Let's just trash a bunch. Finally feel like I have my deck in working order. Fortunately, I think I'm a little bit too late to the punch for this to be salvageable. Is this just province? I feel like my deck needs more payload, but I'm in the slightly awkward position where I'm giving Xyrix back his only cutthroat as well, buying a gold here. So province, gold nothing, gold overlord, cutthroat and a third guide. Don't think I can support that many cutthroats. That's got to be the wrong answer. How do I win this? Probably need to plan to build bigger, I think. The trouble is I only have the four forts. Like I'm behind in points, so I need the game to go long. But I don't have a deck that's really capable of making the game go long. Figurehead, once again, a very good card for me to pull. Um, Need the extra draw, it's non-terminal, and it makes my marquees draw more potentially. If I have four ports, I can play five cards. Marquee, Overlord, Overlord. I can afford another Overlord. Uh, is it the best thing for me to take? I think so. Actually, top decking gets stupid. I'm gonna call a guy here. Very likely. I do need to get my figureheads alternating, and neither's in play at the moment. So even if I draw both, I'm not sure I play them both. Oh no, I didn't get the second. Xerix got the second figurehead. Oh no. Never mind. I got an Amphora. This is the one that's a fake duration card. Is that really the font on the question marks? I have many questions. Okay, so question number one, why does Amphora even have a question mark on it? You know exactly how much money it makes. It makes 3 money. I guess technically the 3 money comes from like the effect, and it's not the same thing as. It feels like Amphora should say 3 in the corner. It makes 3. It makes 3 at some point in time, but it definitely makes 3. It doesn't make an unknown amount of money. I don't know why it has question marks on it. That can't be the right font choice, right? Shouldn't it have the same font as the other numbers? There's no way that question mark is the question mark for the same font as these numbers, right? I've never noticed that before. Other treasures have a question mark on them. Spell Scrolls doesn't have one at all. Orb, yeah, same thing. I have to investigate that more after the match. Something funky is afoot. Well, I'm down 4 provinces to 0, so this could be going better. Hit Xerix with an attack. Now my hand size is the right number for Marquee. I have one more port down there. There's gonna be one more Witch's Hut. If only I could play as Overlord as port. I can play as Steward for money. So I could put the second Cutthroat in play. It's probably worse, right? Well, the attack doesn't matter that much. Xyrix has guides. There's not a huge benefit to playing it next turn either. I think I'm just going to maximize my money and have too many turns left to score. Me a Marchland and this Province Duchy. It probably should be Province Duchy. The trouble is, I'm about to lose the game. I want the game to go longer because I have a chance to win. I'm not sure my deck actually benefits that much from the game going longer because Xerx's deck has more villages and so has more longevity to it. But I could just try to ignore provinces and win on like Duchy, Marchland, Estate or something. Outscore like that. Does it make any sense? I don't know, like double Duchy Guide, double Duchy Estate, Duchy Marquis Estate. I, I don't want to overthink it just because I'm not gonna win anyway. We're gonna try to go for a bunch of marshlands, I guess. I think Xerx's deck is in a position to just double province twice and then I will lose. He did get to play a guide, which means, yeah, he has two guides down. Can't really count on him dudding. uh, how many more loots do you have in that hand? Is that all of them? Did he just draw all of his provinces? He only played the one patrol. This looks like it was a pretty poor thing, a pretty poor draw, all things considered, for Xerix. He has two overlords in the deck at least, maybe more than that, probably more than that. And didn't find any of them. Maybe the curses are hurting. One can hope. There's only two curses in his deck, not hurting that much. Interesting. Unfortunately, I thought Xerx's clearest path to victory was just emptying the provinces quickly. It looks like he's also going for duchies and marked lands. Yeah, I don't know if that's optimal. It seems non-optimal to me. But the realistic answer is he's probably still heavily favored. Again, with all the villages, his deck also has more room to actually build than mine does. I was going for marshlands out of necessity, not out of uh, voluntary choice. This marquee is unfortunately not going to draw me any cards. Maybe did the second marquee even make any sense? The argument in favor of it is I always want to find a marquee because it's a lot of draw, but it doesn't actually stack with itself very well. I guess it's a target for Witch's Hut. This is all of my ports. Don't actually know what that bottom card is. Can't be that important, right? Hmm. Okay, so these overlords could both be stewards, or I could play one as a Witch's Hut and give out some curses. I mean, I want to induce a dud, so the curses look kind of good. Problem is, Xerxes is at the top of his deck, and the curses are going to his discard pile, which he's not going to see for another 30 cards. Um, Let me see if the money matters at all. I'll give it at least one curse, and that just makes my life a little bit easier counting wise. Okay, so another lower looks like. Yeah, I'm probably over terminaled actually, just given the composition of my deck. Um, so I've got 8, 11, 14, 17 money. Uh, right, 8, yeah, 17. So I just play Overlord's Witch's Hut. I have 17. You can buy one marshland for 1, then I have 16. Buy like 3 duchies. Playing Overlord's Steward, get it to 19. That doesn't sound that much better. I guess I could take a province if Xyrix isn't going to touch them. Or it's more marshlands. Uh, 19 could be triple marshland in a state. Hmm. I guess want to curse him. Who knows? Maybe this causes me to lose on piles. Given what I plan on buying, I think I do just set aside a jump card here. The part I don't want to have in my hand, because I'm going to pitch my hand to guide, most likely. Actually, it's not that likely. Maybe I do top deck the Overlord. I don't care enough to click undo. If I knew I was getting hit with a discard attack, it would make sense to take a bad card. I'm pitching my hand. Um, but he's not playing that through consistently from this stage onwards. Uh, suppose I should take at least one duchy. If I lower marshland too much, and marshland curse pile out becomes super possible. Even if I don't lower it much, that's probably still a possibility. But I don't want to make it more possible than it already is. Actually, no, I'm going to undo. Um, with a bunch of victory cards in my deck, the odds I play the Overlords as patrols next turn are pretty high. And if I'm planning on playing the Overlord's patrols, it makes a lot of a difference whether that estate is somewhere in my deck or in my starting hand. I don't know how much is in Xerx's deck. I think he got fewer total loots. That could be mistaken about that. I'm just assuming because I have 2 of the 3 cutthroats. Uh, 20 money would win it. And that's 20 money including a marchland discard. I'm gonna guess he probably has it. I'm just looking at this. Oh, never mind. This is not really a 14 card hand. I was gonna say, given that he's got 14 cards in his hand already, he surely has it, but he has to discard 4 of these. So it's not guaranteed. Oh, that's a big patrol. Yeah, yeah. Okay, now he's definitely got it. Maybe he won't notice. Where did this one go off the rails? Xerix snagged the last 4 ports. That was a little bit of a nuisance. That was probably the correct play, I think. I said, you don't need to have all that many ports. Having 4 ports was an annoyance, but not the end of the world if my deck was otherwise ahead. Uh, like if he had to go out of his way to take the 4 ports, and I was just ahead and could consistently double province or something, I'd be fine. So I think that was a problem, but not the main problem. There was like 2 or 3 turns there in the middle game where I thought I was ahead at some stage, slightly ahead, not hugely ahead. But then there was just like no way to progress my deck. That one shuffle in particular, where like the thing I needed to do was add payload. Um, and he's just getting the cursive of hammer. Certainly he had enough buys without that. If he wanted to maximize points, hammer gaining state would be better, but it don't really matter. Um, oh, an Overlord pile out. Fancy. Anyways, there was that one nasty shuffle where it just worked out so that all my good cards were on the bottom. And if I bought the gold, I triggered a shuffle where I have to pitch all my good cards, and it's guaranteed a dud. So I had to take a turn off. I think right around there is probably where I fell behind.